Okay, so it seems like this Face Connect stuff has completely blown up over the past couple of hours, and it seems to be getting even worse for Face Connect, as recently there's been a graduation. Now, I wasn't really expecting this at all, following a lot of the drama that's been going on with people like Jelly Hoshiumi, and the response that Face Connect essentially made, which looked pretty bad, right? It did look great, and a lot of people were upset at the response because of how, they threw it into it, and also, the way that they worded things. Again, it was a pretty bad response that, angered just a lot of people on a lot of sides of the kind of table. Even if you agree with like taking it down or whatever, taking down the post that Jelly made, I think a lot of people are still kind of angry, and it's from like every single side, which just wasn't the best play, right? And if you guys want to go back and look at exactly what has gone on with Jelly Hoshiumi, then you guys can go and look. There's a couple of videos on my channel about that. But we're talking about this announcement today, which, is a notice regarding Kaminari Clara, which is someone who's been brought up within this kind of stuff, especially whenever people were saying like, oh, you guys didn't do anything about Kaminari Clara and stuff that she has said, but you do stuff about what Jelly has said, right? And yeah, obviously they say here, saying thank you for always supporting Face Connect. Kaminari Clara will graduate from Face Connect on the 28th of February. She'll be concluding her regular activities on both YouTube and Twitter. She will treasure the time that she spent alongside alongside her fans. And Clara's social media accounts will become inactive starting the 1st of March, and the content on her channel will remain available for 30 days until the 31st of March 2026, which again, pretty insane. They say we'd like to thank you. We'd like to thank everyone for supporting Clara during her time at Face Connect, and we wish her the best in the future. And obviously, some people saying, I wish her best in the future. It's sad a journey with Face had to end. That there are decades where nothing happens, and then there are days where decades happen. They said, dude, what's even happening? They said, I've never seen anyone from this company retire at all. I thought I'd never see the day this happens, but here we are. And obviously some people saying suspicious. The EAN account is calling it a graduation, yet the JP account is calling it termination. Which one is it? Which I think is pretty interesting, obviously, because the JP account also put out a post as well. And obviously, as I said, this comes shortly after the drama, right? This comes shortly after Face Connect has been under fire for their response to the Jelly situation. And a lot of people have been saying things like, what about Kaminari Clara? Which, if you don't know what has happened, essentially a while ago, whenever the whole Charlie Kirk stuff went on, she was out there apparently celebrating and stuff, and not being the most respectful in terms of everything that was going on there, which has angered a lot of people. And a lot of people have been saying, well, why doesn't she get any reaction? Why doesn't she get a big statement like the one that we saw with Jelly here? Why is there only Jelly? Now, obviously, this is partially, we've talked about this in the video, this is partially because it was on a personal account. Obviously, I'm not going to show this personal account or the screenshots of it because, of course, it can lead to doxing and things. So, we're not going to show that, of course. But again, it has happened. It is something that did happen, and people did find out, and that is the reason why they are mad that she, hadn't had any action taken against her. And this was further exacerbated by the Jelly Hoshiumi situation, where I think essentially maybe this is what I think has played out. Obviously these comments were flooding in to this situation, and Clara and Face Connect were probably like, okay, maybe we should just kind of announce that you're leaving now, and just kind of call it that. Because if we look at Rima's post here, she talks about, say, ooh, what a day, finally time to go to sleep. Oh, and Face Connect have just announced that Kaminari Clara's graduation. According to the notice, she will graduate on February 28th, 2026, and she'll be concluding her regular activities on YouTube and Twitter. Clara also commented that it was a decision made in mid-February. So again, not February, November. Sorry, not February. Why did I say February? Oh, because she's graduating in February. November, mid-November. So again, this has been something she's been contemplating for a while. I'm sure Face Connect have known. So I think this is why they've decided to put this out now rather than later, because of everything that has been going on anyways, because she is going to leave anyways. People are angry at her still being there or not having any action taken or whatever. So I think they've just gone, okay, let's just tell them that you're leaving so that they can't be angry about that anymore. I think that is essentially what has happened, right? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was planned all along and it's just like a coincidental timing. And obviously she said, and that she waited to avoid drawing attention from her Gemmate Memories graduation last month. She said the date was only finalized earlier this week. Okay, so maybe it was a kind of, I guess, a coincidence. You never know. Saying her social media accounts will become inactive starting March 1st, 2026, and the content on her channel will remain available for 30 days until March 31st, 2026. So yeah, obviously here is the post as well saying, I just want to state that this is a decision I made in mid-November and that I've been contemplating for a while before then. I didn't want to draw any attention away from my Gemmate Memories graduation last month, and we finalized the date earlier this week. Thank you. And I do think, yeah, potentially this could have been, also in conjunction with a lot of the drama that's been going on. That's why they decided to announce it so early. People said, yeah, it's either poor timing or other things in the background caused it to be sped up. Said she also rarely streams for the past 6 months too, which again is true. And yeah, obviously there has been a lot of people that have been, I guess, happy about this announcement as well. I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of people sad because, it's a VTuber that people watch, right? But of course, with a lot of this added drama and stuff, I guess some people are a little bit more relieved. But again, I think it is a kind of mixed bag for a lot of people. As I was saying, hopefully this isn't a phase caving to pressure once again, and it's a mutual thing. Said all we wanted was an apology to Jelly. That you don't demand apologies. Company can fix it internally. They say maybe it was planned just because sped up because of the recent attention. They say it seemed like it was planned, but the announcement went up way earlier than it should have, given the drama, which, yeah, that's 100% what I think. They said 100% because Asmongold, I hate this happened like this, but they played a really stupid game and got their prize. Said yes and no. I believe that this was planned announcement, but it was rushed due to the current drama, which, yeah, I do think is true. And obviously they're talking about Asmongold because Asmongold has been covering this drama as well, right? Which has been interesting to see. And of course, we'll probably make a separate video going over that because obviously this is all about Kaminari Clara and what has gone on with her. Now this is the Phase Connect subreddit. This is what they think about it. So this is obviously the subreddit that interacts with Phase Connect. I would say so the most out of any kind of VTuber community, right? And they say, sad but not surprising. She had one foot out of the door for nearly a year now. I imagine she was in the pipeline, but the recent drama tipped things over. Oh well. They said, I don't like this roller coaster ride we're on. It's a very uncomfortable time. They say, what happened? They said Jelly got publicly shamed. This started a firestorm on Twitter. Then Twitter data collectors reposted Clara's personal unclear Twitter account that was discovered last year, linking her to some pretty bad comments. Then Asmongold discovered it and showed it to about 50,000 people live. Oh yeah, no, of course, yeah. No, that is how Asmongold is related to it as well. I think, yeah, Asmongold did end up showing that footage. I completely forgot that was him that showed it. So yeah, obviously he is kind of involved, I guess, in the sense that he showed a lot of that personal stuff. And yeah, that is essentially one of the reasons I'm assuming why they've decided to graduate her as well, and why she has decided to speed up the graduation. I mean, not that, I think it's already been in plan for a while now, but why they decided to speed up and announce it now and not later, because, she's probably got a lot of heat from Asmongold fans and everything like that, right? So she claims that she already decided to leave in November, so if that's to be believed, the only way any of that that affected anything was pushing up the date of her graduation, if it even did that, which I do think it did. I think that is a possibility, right? Obviously, a lot of people saying apparently this was planned. I just want to state this is a decision I made in mid-November, which, yeah, obviously they're pulling up the statement from Clara here, which obviously, yeah, shows this exact kind of thing. This has got over 200,000 views, by the way, which is crazy. Yeah, obviously it seems like she will not be around after February 28th, right? And they say Clara said that this was months in advance and that she didn't want to overlap graduations, but the timing is just insane. They said, I agree. I don't mean to imply that she's lying, but the timing is wild. And again, I think a lot of people have been, saying that the timing's pretty crazy, but I don't think it is that crazy whenever you consider everything that's gone on. I honestly think that, yeah, this is either the biggest coincidence we have ever seen, or it is a case of they sped it up because of a lot of the hate that they've been getting, a lot of the kind of replies that they've been getting about Clara, but also Asmongold bringing up about the stuff about Clara as well that also probably was the tipping point. I feel like Asmongold probably would have been the biggest factor to that, because obviously a couple of Twitter comments, it doesn't really matter, but Asmon bringing up this kind of stuff to a pretty large audience, of course, yeah, that's probably going to be a bit of concern to FaZe Connect, right? People saying, especially with Asmongold covering the situation and exposing a private account and the whole debacle a while ago, everyone's got eyes on FaZe right now. Wish they just kept quiet through the whole situation, and it would have blown over within a week like any other controversy when they went through. It said, I want to see a video of Asmongold covering. It said, dude, check the news. It doesn't matter what channel. It said, I'm reading all that stuff on Twitter and stuff, and it's hard to keep up. So yeah, people saying, is FaZe management paying for not having any big controversy for the longest time or right now, or what? They said all they had to do was let time pass, erase the post, pretend it didn't happen. Don't really know why they had to post a vague apology, which, yeah, obviously it seems like, you know, Clara, you know, ended up getting caught in some of that, I guess, in terms of speeding up this announcement. But again, it seems like a lot of people are kind of equating this to the drama that has gone on, right? Especially in the actual FaZe Connect subreddit as well, which I do think is true. I think there's a heavy argument to be made that it had a big influence in terms of this kind of stuff. Obviously, they haven't like said specifically, and I'm sure they don't want to inflame things even further, so that's probably why they haven't said anything. But I think, yeah, people like Asmongold and his video is probably, or video, his stream or whatever, he covered it on stream. I think that probably further inflated it as well, and obviously it ended up getting to a tipping point where I think they were just like, okay, let's just announce it now, so that, you know, people can shut up, essentially, because of course, as soon as like a graduation notice comes out, people will begin to stop talking about, you know, when are you getting rid of Clara, when are you getting rid of Clara, which is obviously a very common kind of topic that was coming up within the other drama. So hopefully, you know, maybe that kind of sorts things out in terms of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it seems like, as I said, Kaminari Clara is going to be graduating on the 28th of February 2026, and yeah, her accounts will disappear after the 31st of March, and oh no, yeah, her channel will remain available till the 31st of March. And yeah, I mean, you know, we'll just have to see whatever she does in the future, and whether, you know, she decides to go indie or whatever. I'm not sure. It could be, could not be. And obviously a lot of people have been kind of, you know, posting memes and stuff to do with this, you know, saying thank God, or like, you know, saying the graduation of Kaminari Clara was just announced. Not sure if this is connected to FaZe Connect's earlier tweet regarding Jelly Hoshiumi, but it is possible, right? And obviously a lot of people saying 6 months too late, obviously talking about the fact that, hey, you know, this was something that people wanted a while ago whenever the first comments came out about 6 months ago, but now it obviously has happened. You know, Chibi Review saying they put Jelly on blast for not wanting politics in the kids game. Clara cheers on a political assassination and nothing happens. Asmongold makes video exposing Clara today. Suddenly Clara graduates even though she says it was planned. I smell some lies, which again, I don't know if it's necessarily lies. I just think I believe in the speed up theory, right? In the sense that, you know, essentially they sped up this graduation after the drama and everything, and the Asmongold video and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.